are recording. Hello and welcome to our team call tonight. I'm going to be covering several different topics. I'm going to be talking about what I've gotten personally out of Cody's training and how I'm using it. And specifically, I've been using it a lot in Instagram and stories, which I can still use on my Facebook, but I'm really focusing on Instagram specific. So I'm going to talk about that. Definitely watch Kaylee's and Bree's and Megan's videos about what they've gotten out of Cody's training, because there's just so much. And every time you do it, you get something a little bit different. And I feel like this training of his has been different than the last one. So a couple of housekeeping items. Please, please, please make sure you're in the Coach Collab group. If we decide to shut down the Team Fit Legacy page because it's just not being utilized, then you would need to be in this Coach Collab group, because that is getting posts like every day of tips and ideas and stuff for your business that you can be using from lots of different leaders. And also, you can post in there. If you have a tip or a question or whatever, this is a group for everyone. And it's kind of like the now. It's the people who are up and coming now, the people who are working now. So please make sure you're plugging into that group. I know we get bogged down by groups. So just focus on the collab group and the TFL page, like as far as for your coaching business. If you're doing an Instagram training, obviously plug in there. If you're doing, Cody's training, plug in there. But the only Beachbody groups we will be using for your business is the collab group and the TFL page. That's it. Okay? So I thought that would be a lot easier for us to streamline that way. And you're going to get a lot more out of that Coach Collab group as far as tips and ideas. Christina has a newsletter. Please sign up for it, because she lets us know of upcoming things like the Instagram training. To do that, she emailed the links out for that so that it doesn't go to just everyone. She has a new coach training called Cultivating New Leaders. So have your new coaches plug into that, and they'll get it sent to their inbox every day, and it keeps them updated on how much they've accomplished, like percentage, like you've done 50% of this training. So it's just, we were just talking a minute ago on how we get lost in Facebook land. Maybe you're not seeing notifications. Maybe you're not getting updates. So if you sign up for her newsletter, you will get it in your email inbox, guaranteed, and you won't be out of the loop. That Instagram training is gold, by the way. I hope that you're in it. I am to the third module. I've really been trying to take my time and applying what she says, not just going through it and like, oh, that was great, but actually using it. She has 50,000 followers, and that's a lot of eyes on her content. So I would definitely do that training, sign up for it, even if you can't do it right this moment, but have it available. Maybe do one module a week. And then Coach Camp. I did a video about Coach Camp, so make sure that if you're not going this year, you go next year. But everybody on tonight is going, so I can't wait to see you. I'm so excited. All right. Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes like Kaylee's eating. I am going to tell you how I've taken what I've learned from Cody and actually applied it, because he is absolutely 100% right in that Facebook has changed, and the way we run our business has definitely changed. I've been a coach for 5 years, and it is not the same as when I started. So if you're not trying to constantly be a student, then you will get frustrated. And I've spoken to a lot of coaches who are like, well, I'm sending messages and I'm getting ignored or getting no's. And I'm trying to do this and it's just not working. And I'm adding people and they're like, why are you adding me? It's these things that we've tried to apply that were working in the past that just aren't working. So what Cody has told us is that what people are attracted to, because he's built so many successful businesses, what people are attracted to is you and your story. They are not attracted to the fact that you're a Beachbody coach, or the fact that you drink Shakeology, or any of the things that you do. It's who you are. And one of the assignments he has us do first is, who are you? You know, outside of the fact that you're a coach, or that you are a mom, or you are a dog mom, or, you know, whatever you are. It's who are you down deep? Like, what has happened in your life that has shaped you into the person that you are right now? And so I had to really take a step back, because I was, you know, I had fallen into the trap of posting like, oh, post a GIF below, and trying to do these things that are just, they're social and they're fun, but it's not a way to really deeply connect with someone. So I tell you what I stopped doing. I stopped posting a bajillion times a day. If I do post a lot, it's in my stories, which is kind of just on the fly, and that's a lot of fun. I stopped doing like just a lot of social engagement posts, and you'll see you're probably not getting a lot of engagement anyways on a lot of your posts, just because of the way Facebook has changed. They basically, if you're doing an engagement post, or like comment, or telling people to engage with your post, it'll be dead in the water pretty much. And you know, we were always taught to, oh, just go message like 10 people a day, right? That'll be great. Just message 10 people a day. Well, when everyone's doing that, it becomes white noise. So people stop responding. I know people that don't ever, ever, ever check their Facebook inbox. Never. They don't check it. So how can we stay relevant and have people seeing our things, and have our business be blooming and blossoming? Well, we have to kind of change a little bit. And so what he suggested is, find your brand. Your brand is the colors you like. Your brand is the things that you like in life. Your brand is the way that you dress, whether you have tattoos or not, whether you have children or not, it's just all the things that make you you. And you post about those things because they're you. And if someone doesn't like it, or if someone chooses not to follow you, they're not your people. And if they do follow you, they are your people. And you'll start to get quality engagement on your posts, people commenting and talking to you because they are your people. And I've noticed a huge shift of like real quality comments of people who paid attention to what you said, because you're telling a story, because you're telling your story. And you always want to spin yourself as kind of like the hero of your story, you know, even if maybe you have to get through something before you start talking about it. So an example was, I started 80-Day Obsession, and the first week I got some pretty good results, but I wasn't quite ready to say that I had overcome the stuff I was kind of working through, which was like boredom eating, stress eating, emotional eating, not really eating on a schedule. I was kind of all over the place. I was just being an idiot before this plan. And so I wanted to get through it a little bit longer. So today I was comfortable sharing my results because I felt like I had come through the hero. I really had to test myself and come through. So if there's something you're still working through, don't feel like you have to share it in the moment. You can share it later and be the hero of whatever you had to work through. So your brand, your story, and really showing up at like, whether you accept it or not, you are in the health and fitness industry, which means you have to be showing that you are improving your health and fitness or maintaining your health and fitness. And I was not being a good example of that. I really was being complacent, and I was really being just kind of whatever, you know, because I worked so hard for like the first 3 years of my business to have a really solid foundation that I kind of sat back and wasn't pushing as hard as I should have. And that's both in my business and my own health and fitness. And that's not okay for me to do that. And he really says some things and you're kind of like, oh, like he puts it in your face, all the things that you've been doing wrong, but he says it with care because he does care. But it's like, you know, you can't be not having any results at all and then saying you're a health and fitness coach. And I was like, oh, wait, is he talking to me? So That personally was kind of a slap in the face for sure. And what else? Just personally, what I've gotten out of that, it's really just been a huge eye opener on some things that I was doing that I thought nobody was noticing. But he's like, yeah, we noticed those things. Okay. And then I've really, really, really focused on my photo quality. So those of you guys that'll be at Coach Camp, I'm going to show you like what I do with my stories and my photos, like how I take photos. I'm going to take your guys' photos if you're there. And there's two parts to a really good post. Okay. All right. So that was me kind of blabbing. Now you can take some notes. There's two parts to a really good post. There's your photo quality and there's your caption, which he calls a copy. And they kind of have to work together in that the photo has to be bright, clear. It should be blurry. You know, your food should look appetizing. Try to plate it nicely. You know, we talked about this so much, but I still just see, just in general on Instagram, awful photos. And if you want to be a social influencer, if you want to have a bigger following and have people want to follow you, your photos are going to be the first thing that they see, and they're going to decide in about 5 seconds whether they want to follow you or not. So what that means is maybe you take a bunch of photos on a weekend if you're crunched for time, or I just take mine on the fly. An easy way around a good photo is just some natural light. Put your food next to a window that has some real natural light shining on it, because the light from your ceiling is yellow, which makes your food look yellow, which makes your food look not good, or your face too. You know, if I turn this off, it's not very good lighting. So I have a light that I use because, you know, I want to appear professional and put together. It's just little things like that that make a huge difference, especially in a world where it's constant, instant, fast, cheap, easy. Now, I'm going to decide, I'm just going to scroll. So if you want people to stop on you and pay attention, the first thing they're going to decide on is your photo. So what Cody does is he said he just has a tripod, and he just snaps a lot of pictures, and generally they're in the same outfit. You look like he's always wearing that red and black plaid shirt. So you can take like 30 pictures and spread those out over a few weeks. There's nothing wrong with that. But then in the caption, you're telling a story. So when we go to Coach Camp, take a lot of pictures. Take pictures and pictures and pictures, group photos, selfies, and then use those throughout the weeks and tell stories. So the stories are going to be your own personal stories. So I can only share what I know, but I talk about what it's like to, be a busy mom. I tell stories about my children. I tell stories about being a stepmother. I tell stories about Jeremy and I's marriage and how, we work at it constantly. No marriage is perfect, but we work on it to make it what it is. And people will comment like relationship goals. And it's like, there's no fairy tale. We work on our marriage. I tell stories about my health and fitness. I like to share food pictures. Some people don't like to cook, so then don't share food photos. But in my story, I'm going to tell my perspective and how I've overcome. So he calls it like this. He calls it like a pain point, especially if you're talking about your health and fitness. What is a struggle or a pain that you've gone through with your health and fitness? Maybe before you started, maybe after having children, different parts of your journey. I wrote a bunch down before I started 80 Day Obsession because my health and fitness and nutrition was terrible. I was like skipping workouts. I was eating junk thinking I could work it off, which you can't. I already knew that, but I like to be in denial. On the weekend, like on a Sunday, we would just order pizza and I wouldn't even think twice. Having your pants not fit. That is a huge pain point that a lot of people feel. Having no energy, being bloated, being tired, feeling like you need to take a nap every single day. Before 80-Day Obsession, I haven't posted this yet, but before starting, I was taking a nap almost every afternoon because I was so tired because my diet was so shitty. I haven't taken a nap since today in 14 days, and I forced myself to do it. So, it's these little things that we go through we may not really think about at the time, but somebody else is out there feeling and thinking the exact same way. And for you to be this beacon of light, like a lighthouse, and you're just shining your own story, that's going to draw people to you. They're going to feel compelled to like follow you, read what you say, and you become then this leader, this social influencer. And it's a lot of fun. I just have a lot of fun doing it. I love social media. I love taking pictures. It's just something I play around with all the time. I'm constantly trying to change it and evolve it and just tweak it. It's not like you become excellent at photography overnight. You just change lighting and you work on different things. As far as taking your before and after pictures, it is super key to have a similar outfit and similar lighting, because then you won't have people criticizing and saying that it's not true, or that, people are super weird. I was even reading some coaches accusing other coaches of sucking in and having different lighting and stuff like that. That's just awful. So if you really want to make your before and after photos look semi-professional, take it in the same place with the same lighting and the same-ish outfit if you can. So that's my plan for the 80-Day Obsession. I'm going to be wearing those same purple pants. I'm going to get so sick of those purple pants. And it's a Lorna Jane sports bra. And I'm going to take in the same spot in my bedroom, just against the blank wall, I'm going to take the same picture the same way so that it stays consistent. When you're doing your social media photos, really the same thing. Kind of try to have some sort of consistency. Instagram's a great way to see consistency just because of the way the photos lay out, but I try to get purple, black, and blue like consistently through my feed, if that makes sense, because those are my colors. That's kind of like my brand. If yours is like more dark and kind of artsy, like maybe more grays and blacks, that's cool. If yours is more airy and light and you use really light filters that kind of wash out the color, that's cool too. But have some sort of similarities that become your brand. There's this coach. I want you to write her name down because her branding is insane. It's Crystal, but it's with an I. Cristal, Crystal. And Courier, Currier. And her Instagram feed looks like a freaking unicorn. I don't know. I know some of the apps she used for photo editing. But it's crazy how much her feed looks like a unicorn. Then you take someone like Amy Silverman, who has a really kind of more grungier, dark, airy, or artsy, not airy, artsy flow to her Instagram feed. And, her photos are pretty consistent. Then you take someone like Emily Skender. She used to be Emily Kirby. Hers are super light, crystal clear, super bright pictures. So when you can have this kind of brand for yourself, then that sets you apart, if that makes sense. So and it should be on what you like. So take colors you like, take textures that you like, and just make a brand around it. I'm always drawn to pink and black and like teal blue. Those, I don't know why. I even have freaking Post-it notes, those colors. That's just me. So yours should be colors and stuff that you like. For For apps that I use for photo editing, I like, whoops, wrong one, sorry. Okay, I like Word Swag for letters. A lot of you guys have that. This is nothing new. I like Facetune, which isn't for your face at all. It just has some kind of neat lighting and filtering things that you can do. And I also like Color Story and Afterlight. Those just have, oh, and ViscoCam, VSCO. Those just have different filters. What I would suggest is kind of find a couple of filters you really like and use them on every photo. So if you're doing too many different filters, it won't look cohesive. That's just the art teacher in me coming out. If you want this kind of brand and theme, use the same filters. I use the same filters on almost all my photos. I like them very saturated, very colorful. So the color is really rich, and that's just what I like. Maybe somebody doesn't like that. That's okay. They don't have to follow me, because the people that follow me will like the way that I color my photos, okay? So that can take a little pressure off. There's this other girl that I follow from Ohio. She's not a coach. She just has a blog, a health and fitness blog. See her, there's like a glare. See how her stuff is all white, gray, and black? So that's like her brand. So it's very consistent. She has a lot of followers. I can tell that she batch takes her photos, which means she'll put on an outfit, take a bajillion pictures, and like spread them out over a few weeks. If you're more kind of ADD like me and you just like to post on the fly, that's okay, but make sure there's consistency in there. And okay, then I want to talk about stories, and then I want to give time for questions too. So stories is where you can really be yourself, more unedited, more raw. So this is like what you're doing, what you're eating, you know, oh, I'm going to go work out. I'm going to make a funny little video about my pre-workout, you know, sharing other people's results, sharing your own results, just kind of your day-to-day, what you're doing. I say a good range is more than 5 snaps a day to be consistent. Because if you do it very rare, or there's only ever one snap, you're not popping up to the top of the feed very often. Every time you post in your story, it pops to the top of the feed. Did you guys know that? So you have all these little people at the top. When you post, yours goes to the front. That's on Facebook too. So if you're doing this consistently throughout your day, guess what? You're always going to be at the top. And that's going to get more eyes on you and what you're doing. It takes some time to get used to doing stories. I feel like I felt really weird and awkward at first when I started using it, and it was on Snapchat. I felt super weird, but just think of it as your own reality show and just have fun with it. Like you're talking to your best friend. Like I text my sister, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just making lunch. Okay, well, you do a little story. Hey, I'm making lunch. The cool thing on Instagram is it will cross post to your Facebook. So I don't have to worry about it posting on my Facebook. I just post on Instagram and it already posts on my Facebook. And there's a video that I posted in the team page by Andrea Crowder on like tips on how to use the stories feature and some of the cool things it does. Watch that, because it's like an hour and she gives a bajillion good tips, and I couldn't even cover that right now at all. Okay, but as far as what I said about, so I'm at Success Club 18 and I haven't sent out personal invites. And that's true because my invites are in my stories and on my captions. So I'm very consistently always saying, join us in the next round. Join us in the next round. Are you in the next round? Are you joining us in the next round? Oh, look at the results this person's getting. Oh, look at the results I'm getting. Oh, look at this awesome meal. Are you in the next round with us? Are you doing this with us? So it's constantly, what's the word I'm looking for? Shoving it in their face that they need to do this with us. And I sent an email out to all my current clients through the Coach Online office. I sent an email out to everyone saying, hey, we're doing this. And then I sent out another one that said, hey, we start another round on February 5th, and we'll start another round on March 5th. That's a Monday. So that means you can continuously invite people to start if they, if they're just now seeing it and they're like, oh, I need to do something about this. I've got a vacation coming up, spring's around the corner, then summer, constantly being inviting. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. I'm all about blacks and grays, occasional colors. Yes. Just do you. Maybe find someone. It doesn't have to be a coach. In fact, it's probably better if it's not. Find someone that you think, wow, I love their feed. I love what they're doing. And just do your own versions of it. And if a lot of you guys live around me, and Megan, you can come up here too, but we could do, when it gets nicer out, we could do photo shoots. I don't care. Like, I love taking pictures. And if you just do like a batch of photos, then you have them at your disposal for whenever you need them. And so you can post on the fly, but at least you got like an album on your phone. You're like, okay, I can just use these when I'm just not feeling it today. And for sharing your story, it's like the problem, what you did to overcome, and then now how you feel afterwards and how they can do it too, if that makes sense. So it's like a 3-part when you're telling your story. Just be yourself, talk like you talk. I use the voice dictation a lot and then go back through because it'll butcher my grammar, but yeah. Okay. So that gives us like 10 more minutes for questions. Well, you can unmute yourselves if you have something to ask, something to say, something to add.
What did her name, the Crystal gal, it's with a K or a C?
C. Cristal.
Got it. I did a K and I couldn't find her. Oh my God, it does look like a unicorn.
Yeah. Okay. Now look at her pictures. Does that not look like a unicorn feed?
How does she do that? That's insane.
So she's using 3 apps, a color story, Afterlight, and then on Facetune. Is it Facetune or ViscoCam? It's either Facetune or ViscoCam. So she's adding what's called light leaks into her photos. So yes, she's using like a very high contrast, high brightness filter, which means it's taking a lot of the super bright coloring out, the saturation. And then she's adding in light leaks. A light leak is like, like when the sun shines and you're trying to take a picture and it makes that kind of like a, the halo effect. Yeah. So she's adding those into her photos, but it's very consistent. So she does it on every photo.
What was her last name again?
Currier, Currier.
I'm going to put it in the chat too, just to make it easy.
And that might not be your brand at all, but just it's an example of a brand, if that makes sense, of being very consistent in your photos. Now, with snaps being gone from your stories after 24 hours, those little albums are key to keeping them. So I organized mine into About Me, My Biz, which is coaching, fitness, healthy. I put healthy AF, which is nutrition, and then hair and makeup, because those are my interests. Yours might be whatever. Just totally be yourself, your interests, and then you'll attract people that are like you, Yeah, so Crystal is like super bright, airy, unicorn. Then you have Amy Silverman, who's like grungy and artsy. Her colors are a lot more muted. And then who else did I say? Emily Skender. Hers are very crystal clear. Hers are very bright, airy, kind of floaty. Floaty, not floaty. I wouldn't say why I said floaty. Who else? If you guys go to Melanie Metro, there's a lot of blue, like turquoise blue. But even she said on the wake up call a few weeks ago, I've had to completely change the way I use social media because social media is changing. And so if what you're doing now is not working, change it. But you have to be showing up. You can't just say, oh, okay, I want to do this, but you're never posting on Facebook. That doesn't work. Or Instagram. That doesn't work either. You can't just disappear and expect it to work. On Instagram, I post once a day. Maybe if it's if it's a good content day just in my life or in my mind, then I'll post twice. Sometimes I can skip a day with a post because I have a pretty fluid feed. As far as stories, I'm doing at least 5 a day. Today I have 10.
Some days I go like hog wild.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have a lot to say or a lot to share, yeah, you're going to have, ebb and flow. Do you guys have any questions or things to add? Another thing that's key is going to your current challengers and encouraging them to refer their friends to join. So that's another way to get around adding random people on Facebook, which isn't fun. It just makes most people feel weird. You can still do it, but I think most people are kind of aware now. It becomes kind of like this thing like, oh, another Beachbody coach added me on Facebook. You don't want to be that person. So you can message your challengers and just say, hey, do you have any friends that want to do our next group? It starts this date, and go that way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have not sent personal messages, just like randomly picked people to send personal messages to.
Yeah.
In a fair amount of months. And I think I'm at like 16 now or 14 or something. And it's just a byproduct of the storytelling and a couple of before and after posts that,
Yes.
It's changing the game.
Yep. Showing that you are a product of the product is incredibly important. Oh, that's I'm so glad you said that, Kaylee. I forgot. I don't say any brand names at all, ever. I don't say Shakeology. I don't say 80-Day Obsession. I'm calling it a 14-week makeover. And people are like, tell me more. I'm not saying it's 80-Day Obsession. Why? They can go Google 80-Day Obsession and buy it randomly without having any connection to me. I need them to know they need to get it from me. This is a 14-week makeover. If they Google that, who knows what's going to come up? I should maybe look. But I want them to think, oh, I got to do this with this girl. She's my key to getting this 14-week makeover. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. When I show Shakeology in my stories, I'm calling it an immune booster. I'm calling it a vegan superfood blend because I use the vegan one. You could just call it a superfood blend if you use the regular. My pre-workout, I am calling it a pre-workout. My post-workout, I'm calling it a post-workout because I need them to ask me what it is. That's called curiosity marketing. Because if I say, oh, look, this is my Energize, they can go to Google, they can go buy it off Amazon and get it. But I need them to connect this with me or ask me for more information. I hope that makes sense. Cool. Okay. You guys have any other questions? Comments? Celebrations? You guys are killing it with 80-Day Obsession. I'm really proud of you.
Us, look at you. Autumn Calabrese, posted your freaking photos. That's amazing.
It's crazy.
I saw that. You should have seen me. I I opened my phone and I was like, Stephanie posted her before and after photos. I'm like, no, Autumn posted Stephanie's before and after photos. I was like, oh my God.
Did you die when you saw that?
Yeah. Well, I woke up from a nap and like my phone was like, and the first one I opened was Kaylee. I'm like, God, where's the fire? And I hit play. It was a voice message. She's like, oh my God, you're on Autumn's Instagram. I'm like, what? Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. I think I screeched a little bit.
Well, and then someone said something, about people sucking in. It's like, well, I can't suck in my back. So
Did somebody say that on that post?
not on mine, but there was a pretty large post in the group. I think it was after week 1, and it was this girl going on a rant about how it's just bad, different lighting, and people are sucking in, and just being accusatory, and that's not cool.
Yeah. Somebody did that actually on one of Autumn posted some pictures, and they were totally like different depths from the camera. And somebody randomly posted on there. They're like, well, yeah, it's easy to say that you lost a whole bunch of weight when the person is like this far from the camera and in different clothes and this and this. And Autumn is like, Autumn replied to them and she's like, instead of putting them down, maybe you should just realize that not everyone's a professional photographer and that they're just taking, clothes to just document their own progress. I'm like, wow, people are just a-holes.
Yeah, my very first before and afters was like a selfie in a bathroom window or a bathroom mirror, and then the second one was like a selfie in a dressing room. Like you're going to evolve, you're going to get better. But if you know those things, like, okay, I'm going to try to have the same lighting, try to do it in the same place, it can just improve the quality of your photos that much more.
Yeah. And I am so thankful that in the beginning that I took those pictures in front of that bright ass orange wall in my dining room,